Do you want to know how to win more listings in this shifting market?
Hang with us today on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast.
This is the Wandering But Not Lost WBNL podcast, where real estate and reality meet. And now your hosts, Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson.
Well, welcome to the Wandering But Not Lost WBNL podcast, where real estate and reality meet. This is episode 207. If you are a new viewer, welcome to the show. If you are coming back to join us again, we are happy to have you back. You can find all of our show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. Jan O'Brien, as of late, if you watch the news much, or if you are just sitting there thinking to yourself, oh my God, what's going on in the world? You might think the sky is falling in real estate.
True.
But we are here to tell you that it is not. And every market is an opportunity. So let's talk about how we can take an opportunity or turn this market into an opportunity.
Well, you know that we always say that you need to list to last in any market. But today we want to focus on listings because I think there's some very unique opportunities right now. We're going to get into the details. And then next week, we'll talk about how do you work with buyers that are freaking out about interest rates being too high, and how do you leverage all your negotiating skills and understanding of how to put a deal together to help buyers buy, right? So, or maybe to help a seller sell right now and buy. So back-to-back episodes that are going to actually, it'll be in 2 weeks. We're now doing our podcast every so our next podcast, which will be in 2 weeks. Okay.
It's all about, like we always talk about, now it's about counseling and caring. Yeah. Counseling and caring, right?
Yes.
Because people need to know what's going on.
So last week in episode 2000, wow, the mood is really up there. And can you imagine? It's episode 2006 of the Wandering But Not Lost podcast, and 206. Check that out if you missed it. Really, we're talking about the market is shifting. Are you adapting? Are you staying ahead of the changes? And it really goes back to this key point where I feel like if you missed that and you feel like you're having issues about, like, I don't know what to say to sellers today, then, go watch that episode. We have other things where we've talked about, it's about how to be the local market expert. In a nutshell, you've got to study the market. You have to know what's happening on a national front, which I like to use Keeping Current Matters and some of the key channels that are out there. But honestly, you really have to know your local market, because what's happening nationally may not exactly be what's happening in your marketplace. And if you know what's happening in your marketplace, then you have the confidence to speak to a seller and or a buyer. So I think that's where a lot of people hesitate, Matt. So you got to have that. Now, today we're going to talk about 6 different ways that you can leverage what's happening in the market right now, adjust your thinking and just be your, what you're saying. I don't really want to call it scripts, but it's more like just, again, coming from the place of, what's happening in the market, you have something to talk to people about, right? So let's talk about how to win more listings. You're not going to be surprised that our number one way to get listings is to talk to people that you know. So it's your database, okay? And now this is not new tips. We've talked about this numerous times. It's a different message to deliver right now. So I feel the best way to get a piece of business right now would be, if you haven't done it, even if you have done it last year or even 6 months ago, things have shifted, I recommend everybody in your database that owns a home that you do an email of a market analysis, a market update on what their home value is. And bonus, do it as a video, right? We've talked about using Loom, the Loom Chrome extension. I love it. That's what I use. There's others. There's all kinds of things that you can get that you can use that will allow you to capture your screen. And by that, I mean, you go into the MLS, you pull up like you're going to do a market analysis, like you're going on a listing appointment already. And then you get it all ready. And then you just actually talk to your seller, your homeowner, and say, here's what's going on in your neighborhood. We may be at the top of the market at this point if you've been thinking of selling. And maybe if you're not, if you just want to know what the value of your home is right now, how much equity you have, here's what it is. Here's the good news. Then you follow it up with a call. Now, they may not be ready to sell, because they're worried about, Matt, honestly, I feel so many more sellers are going to just stay where they are because of the interest rates right now. Most sellers that are in their homes have probably either refied or got an interest rate that's below 4 or even below 3. I mean, I know people that are at 2.8, 2.75.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking at today, I think yesterday, it kind of bounced up to 6.28. Then the Fed did their thing. And then the mortgage interest rate moved prior to the Fed announcing. They kind of do their own thing. They sort of follow the 10-year Treasury. However, they've already made their adjustments, and then they went up high and it's already down again. So it's back, listen, every day the rates change, right? But they're definitely at 6. I'm looking right now, 6.05 from Mortgage News Daily, looking at my app, which I highly recommend that you download. Great stories are in there. And that is a little bit more accurate because they survey daily some of the leading lenders in the country. And then it also show what the points and stuff are. And the rates are all over the place, but you have to always look at what are they charging for points up front or whatever to get that rate. So 6.05, but 2 days ago it was 6.28. Okay.
Right.
So, but if you're a seller, you're going, unless you're going to downsize and you want to cash in on how much equity you have right now. And there are people who are going to do this and they're okay with moving to the next thing, or maybe they'll buy their interest rate down. Maybe it's too much house. Those are the people that are going to put their homes on the market. But I feel like there's a whole bunch more people that are going to stay put, but you want to at least have the conversation, maybe not now, maybe later. And that's the reason to reach out to your database, right? Discuss the market, what's going on. We can't exactly say what's going to happen, but if you're a student of the market, like we are, we look at it weekly and you have a little bit more confidence to say there's still inventory is increasing in most markets. In our market here in Vegas, it definitely is increasing. However, when you compare it to pre-pandemic numbers, it's still low inventory. Builders are behind. Sellers, I just mentioned, aren't all going to put their homes on the market. Unless the investors start dumping their homes on the market, we're slowing down in sales, but we're not like in a standstill. Not yet. Okay.
Jan, talking about the, your stats and staying in touch with your database, and maybe people being on the fence a little bit more, our sellers kind of holding on. This is the perfect time to start up a newsletter if you haven't done it, or to work on those weekly stats and send that out to your clients on a really, really regular basis, because you'll keep them completely informed of what's going on in the market. And when they are ready to go, they're going to look to the local market expert, and that's going to be you. I mean, this is just like logical stuff that you can really put into play always, but right now especially, because people are going to be very curious. Because things are going to change a lot. It's going to fluctuate a lot.
I love that. And I'm putting a little more effort. I have to record my market update for May today. And I've been doing some research because I really want to be able to put my opinion into my professional opinion and studying all this into what's happening so that we can reach out. So our team, we all send it out to our database once a month. This is the one thing that we do, to Matt's point. Right. And it's data driven about what's happening in the market. I have an article from Keeping Current Matters that's going in the newsletter today that I really like. It's a great infographic that says a recession does not equal a housing crisis. And
that's a really good video. Are you doing the video or the graph?
It's a graph.
There's a video in there too that was good.
You know what? That's a really good point, that the video that they did at Keeping Current Matters. And that's good because they have data. And I just saw it in another article at CNBC or someplace that just said, the last 6 recessions, 4 of them houses appreciated, 2 of them, one in 1991, it was only 1.9%. Of course, everyone remembers 2008, the Great Recession. Nationally, it was 20% depreciation. Not here in Vegas, it was like 60%, which is horrible. But again, look at that. So you could see a chart that says 20% depreciation, but your local market in Vegas, for example, Florida was similar, parts of California, Michigan, various places really were hit hard. It was 50 to 60%. But that's what people remember, Matt. And I think people are hearing recession news and all this, and they're like, oh my God, I better buckle down, stay put. But if you went and shared a little bit of information just of what we just said in a newsletter, it could start a conversation. Okay, but here's the deal. If you don't go understand it and look and study it, which is what I've been doing, because we all cursory sort of go, well, what does a recession mean? And if this happens, what does that do to the housing market? You got to go study it. And so you can sound, like you know what the hell you're doing.
Right.
You can't fake it. Okay.
On that note too, Keeping Current Matters always has great information. They've had some really good stuff in the last couple of weeks with things kind of shifting a little bit. So we'll put a link to Keeping Current Matters. You can give it a trial. We'll put that in the show notes for you today.
Okay, so your database always number one. Recommend you reach out and talk to them like now. Okay. Now, expireds. This is my number two. I think expireds are going to be definitely ticking up for the very reason of we're in a shifting market. Here's the deal, and I'm out looking at homes all the time now, and it's the same old story. A home that looks great, and there's a lot of homes here in Las Vegas that were built in the 90s. I think about like the 90s. Well, that was just a couple of that was like, a few years ago. No, it wasn't.
30
right?
years ago. What
So
the
when you
hell?
go
How'd that
into
happen?
When you go into a home that's built in the 90s or the early 2000s and the people have not updated, that stuff looks dated. So people walk in and they're like, I don't want those like oak cabinets and that style tile in my flooring. So my point is the sellers who are putting their homes on the market and wanting to get that top dollar that haven't done those renovations could get away with it 6 months ago, 3 months ago, even 6 months ago last year, because there was like no inventory. Right now we're starting to get more inventory. Even back then, everything that was renovated and turnkey. It's so funny. I'm working with a buyer now, and it's like she's got 6 properties with a pool to look at. She wants the one that everybody wants, which looks modernized, because nobody wants to deal with the renovations. And they want to be able to have turnkey and move in. Everyone wants that. So those properties are going to sell. But if you're selling something, you're listing something and it needs renovations, it needs 30, 40, 50,000 renovations. Those sellers are the ones that are starting to reduce prices. Ultimately, as time goes by and this market continues down this path that we think it's going to go, there's going to be more expired. Your opportunity is to brush up on your expired skills. And everything we're talking about here today, by the way, the key to it is consistency. You don't go, oh, I'm going to try expireds today, and for a couple days you call expireds. You got to like dive in, have a system for expireds. You pull them up every day, and you have these 3 things that you do. You send something out, you drop a package off, you make a phone call if you can get the phone number. You're ready to talk about how you're going to help get their home sold. Now, you're going to benefit from the agent who had it overpriced, maybe wasn't able to get it reduced. And ultimately, the seller's probably blaming that agent because their home didn't sell, and now you step in. That's it in a nutshell.
You're already seeing an increase in expireds in Vegas?
Yes, and I think we're going to see more and more as time goes by. So that could be for you, and that could be one of the things that you do. You certainly don't need to do all these things that we're talking about. Pick the ones that work for you. Same with for sale by owners. I think there's always for sale by owners. The easiest way to do FSBOs is to go find them on Zillow. Honestly, they're listed on Zillow. There's actually a drop down for sale by owners. You can also go to forsaleByOwners.com and just search in your area. And then again, have a system of where you call, you go. And my favorite thing with for sale by owners is, hi, Matt, this is Jan O'Brien with XYZ Realty. I'm not calling to list your property today. You kind of go in with a different approach, but you're trying to get an appointment. So what you're saying is, I want to be able to, do you cooperate with realtors? And I would love to know, see if I have a buyer potentially for your home. Can I come out and take a look at it? Right. So you can get an appointment easily with for sale by owner, then build some rapport, find out how long down the process they've been, why are they doing it on their own? And then you can do some follow-up, just like with expireds. Okay. So again, you have to be committed to doing it, right? You could do them together, frankly, expireds and FSBOs.
Yeah, sure.
And then the geographic farm, I really do believe in the farming, but honestly, this is not something you can do once and, one and done. This is a 3 to 6 month commitment to multiple approaches, including postcards or mailers and holding open houses in your farm, having, knocking on doors if you have to, but you have to do it consistently, and it can work also, right? So farming can work.
Don't you think in a way, because the market's just not going to shift overnight and things are going to probably be a little unsure for certainly the rest of this year, that maybe now is the time you want to get into that?
Yeah, I agree. And people, it never has changed over the years. The people in the geographical farm just want to know what the value of their homes are, what's happening, what's happening in your neighborhood. And that's the piece that you would do and mail out or drop off. And then you start leveraging. If you get a listing in your own farm, now you're holding open houses, they're seeing your signs and you're inviting them to that. And speaking of that, a bonus, it's not on our charts here today, is to do open houses. I talked about it last week, but I am going to tell you, in our team alone, they're continuing to hold open house on their listing, which really needs to probably be reduced in price. I've had one offer that's lower because, again, people are being more discerning buyers. They've had two opportunities to go do that came to the open house, consistent open houses they're holding. They've interviewed one, but they're trying to decide whether they're going to rent or sell right now. And they have another one that they're talking to from doing open houses. Okay. So definitely get out and hold open houses. I think, especially if it's a new listing, there's definitely some other seller that's hearing the news saying, maybe we're at the top of the market. The prices, because everything going to start coming down. Maybe we need to sell. And that's what you're looking for. Okay.
It's funny because in our area, there were very few open houses for the longest time.
Now you see them.
They're starting to pop
Me
up.
too.
Again.
I'm seeing signs all the time. I see them every day. Like some people are holding them daily, which is very smart.
Yep. That is smart.
And people are out looking, so you could pick up buyers, but in your neighborhoods, you're definitely going to pick up sellers who want to come by and see what's going on. So I love it. All right, so that's the geo farm, but we also have niche farming, right? So don't forget, I've had success when I was in Florida with the out-of-state owners. In fact, got 3 listings that way just by sending a postcard. One postcard mailing got me 3 out-of-state owners that I sold over time. Then I've done other mailers where I haven't gotten anything. So, it's hit or miss with that, but you have to be consistent with it.
But that story to out-of-state owners is the same right now as it was when you did that postcard. You know what I mean? Quarter over quarter, year over year is still off the charts.
I mean, we've had like $60,000 gain since the beginning of the year in Vegas, 435 to 482. I think it's going to go up to. No, it's already up. It's 490 for May. Or 495 even. There's a 60,000. Anyway, 60,000, not to say what it was the previous year. This is why we're at about 150 over 2 years. That's the story to tell the out-of-state owner. And there might be some investors who do want to go ahead and maybe take it. They may not want to. The rents are up, right? Rents are up also. So somebody maybe wants to hold on to it and keep the equity. Sure. But some of them might want to sell and maybe wait and see and then go buy other properties again. That's or just right. Cash out. So out-of-state owners is a possibility. The surname thing, I'm really going to play with this again. I was thinking about doing the whole O'Brien, everybody that's an O'Brien that owns property in Clark County and just doing this small farm. I think there's something to that. It's about having that rapport. The hometown farm is look for people like if I'm originally from Boston, which I am, or from the Atlanta area, or I can even say now I could even, since I know the Clearwater in that area, Florida market, I could look for homeowners through the title company out here. Give me everybody that's an out-of-state owner that has a hometown of whatever town, right? And then make a connection about, especially this Florida connection for me, it could be I can help them there and refer them there, and I can help them out here if they need to. And then do you have a specialty? You have do you work with first-time home buyers, military? Are you a 55-plus specialist? Are you a luxury specialist? What is your thing? And then there's all kinds of things that you can do inside of that specialty. Right? All right, so that's some ideas there. And we're trying to help you with just get something and start doing it, right? And the last one is where Cosmo and I here in Vegas are having our biggest success. And it's just choosing and sticking with a social channel, which for us is TikTok. We also get a little bit off of YouTube. So it's video stuff. It doesn't matter what it is, in my opinion, if as long as you like it, number one, you feel like your clientele are on that platform. But don't try to own them all, okay? I mean, we're not even doing a great job of repurposing our content because we're so busy just trying to get content up every day on video content up. So But video is really where it's at, number one. And number two, it can't be outsourced. Okay. So I see so many people hiring someone to put content up. Like here's the deal. Keeping Current Matters provides content that you could put on your social channel that is good content that you can leverage in your videos, which is what I do every day. I'll grab a chart and then it's me doing a video talking about that chart or that stat or that graph. You could also use it as filler as long as you're putting in you in the photo, you in the video. Okay. So you're branding yourself as that local expert. and leveraging content. You can provide you the content. You can get content from everywhere, and you have to be in the video. Okay, don't have someone else doing this for you. It doesn't show that you're the expert. This is all part of being the local market expert. So you have to. But I'm telling you, the social channel thing is worthless if you do not, like, you don't even need to be on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or any of those if you're not actually using it. Just forget about it. No one's going to find you. You know, you could have it there and have BS stuff going posted, but it's not going to do anything for you. It does do something for you if you have a commitment, just like Expires, just like FSBOs, just like farming. You have to do it every single day. And with video, with Instagram Reels, whether it's TikTok, YouTube long form is a different animal. YouTube Shorts falls into the same thing as TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook. What are those things called? The short videos that are on Facebook. I don't know. They're very much.
Do they have a name? They must.
I don't know, but they're kind of forward on Facebook. I'm not even hardly on Facebook anymore. But since we have been consistently for a few months posting on TikTok, we've got a following. This week alone, we've been on two. We have a second appointment today. We've been on one appointment and have a second one today, and from TikTok, and then multiple buyers. Showing buyer today. We have 20 people in our pipeline that we have their information and we've had conversations with that are coming at mostly buyers that are coming at various stages in the coming this year. Some are waiting till next year. But every day we have more conversations with people. But this is only because of a very consistent, committed approach to this. Every day we do a Zoom at 6:00 and we talk about that. Helps us stay focused. We strategize on what we're going to do together or separately, and we try to get 3 to 4 pieces of content up every day. And we have found what works for us, and it only works because we do it consistently, and we've discovered what works for us. And that's what will happen to you if you get into that. So just because I'm saying, hey, we had a couple appointments, it won't work for you if you don't follow that formula. We didn't get appointments for months, okay? Couple months. So same thing. If I was to start geo farming, you might luck into something, but it's going to be weeks and months before they consistently see you. They see your brand. Insert anything that you do. You must do it with consistency, provide value. And by all matter right now, people want to work with people they know, like, and trust, and they are looking for the quality of someone to help them navigate through this crazy times, right? So there it is. Okay. Don't try to do all of them. Definitely everyone should be talking to the people that they know. I'm going to go back and do that now that I'm back here and I have a handful of people. Most of my database here is agents because of, my background of mostly being a broker. But I do have people that I know that are that own homes, and I'm going to have that exact conversation with them. I'm going to do the CMA. I'm going to call and say, hey, did you know you have this much equity? Congratulations. Do you know since like the pandemic, your property has grown to here? And then it's an opportunity just to have a conversation. Hey, how you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while. And then we can talk about real estate. And then I'm just trying to get those folks to be aware that I'm here and I can help them, even if they don't want to sell, that when they hear of someone, they refer. And I know I'll probably get some business from that because I'll do that in the next few weeks. So there it is, Matt Emerson. Anything to add?
Well, I just go back to Keeping Current Matters because I haven't really looked at that for quite a while, and I was really examining it the last few weeks, and there's just so much good information in there. I think there was one chart I saw yesterday when I was going through there. I think it was the 7 out of 10 of the top economists say that prices are still going to increase in 2022. I mean, that kind of stat is off the charts, right? That's the kind of thing that a seller or buyer or anyone wants to know that's happening, that the market is not just, going to fall off the face of the earth like everything else kind of feels like it's doing. So I just think that, having those kind of stats are invaluable. But like Jan said, it's not about just, sopping it back up on your stuff. It's internalizing the data and then, giving your take on it too. So
totally.
Yeah. Good stuff. It's so funny. I love it when we talk about this. We say it so much on this podcast. Is that this isn't new stuff? This is new stuff. It's just
I don't know how many times I've talked about these exact things.
Yeah, right? You have to constantly just kind of twist it a little bit to what's happening in the market today. I mean, that's exactly what it's all about. I mean, real estate is not rocket science.
No. And I'm having so much fun with it.
For crying out loud.
All these years doing this and now being back in the fray, it's actually it's less stressful compared to the stuff I've done in the past in brokerage. And I'm having fun. It's like, here's a person. I really want to help them. We've met through direct messages through the social platform, and then we finally get on a call and meet. And then like today, we're meeting someone I feel like we already know. Yeah, we're meeting for the first time, but they feel they know us. We feel like we've got to know them all because we've been developing and connecting through social media. So I love it. I just like what we're doing, and I like where it's going. And it can be a little bit daunting and scary but I have to tell you, because of feeling better about staying on top of what the markets are and researching and getting everyone's, experts' opinions outside of real estate, and makes me feel more confident and not worried. But I feel like a lot of realtors are going to be getting out of business. That's what happens when things get harder.
Sure.
The tough the good always do well. The great always do well. They know how to shift. And that's a small percentage of the top of the market of agents that have lived through these things. The newer guys, so many people just to give you an idea, Matt, a couple years ago, 3 years ago, we were down to about 13,000 realtors. We have 17,000 realtors in LDR now. Okay. So we went from like 13, 14, so 3,000 to 4,000 realtors, because people wanting to work for themselves. And we're in a new economy where, you go do your own thing. Well, real estate requires a lot of commitment and time and getting out of your comfort zone to do it. Right. Yep. So We'll see what happens. And so but if you have this confidence because you study it and you just don't kind of go, well, I just kind of go out and show some houses and make some sales. No, it doesn't work like that. Right.
You also have to start, we should probably talk about this sometime in the next, month or so, or sometime over the summer, is kind of talk about brushing up your negotiation skills, because that's really come into play too right now, because it is, once again, it's all about knowledge. And, it's going to be great to get the clients, right? You feel like, woohoo, I did the prospecting, but now you're going to have to make sure they can actually secure the home, which is going to be a whole thing.
I'm going to talk about that next week, because I feel like now when switching gears and talk with buyers, and talk to you about things we're talking to buyers with and how we're negotiating offers and the things we're doing to try to get a good deal for our buyer. So, and I feel like the opportunities are there for that now, finally. So from new homes to whatever. So all good stuff. Get out there, get up to speed with it, jump in now so that you can thrive through the shift.
That's right. So you
shift
can find
happens. Hashtag shift happens.
Shift does happen. You can find all of our show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. We're going to put that link over there for where you can go in for a trial of Keeping Current Matters. And then, Jan, why don't you give me the link or the name of the app again that you have, your mortgage app? What is that?
Yeah, Mortgage News Daily. So I just go to Mortgage News Daily and sign up. You can download for your phone, and it displays really nice. And see what I like using my phone for things like that, the MLS app, is when I'm doing these little short videos, I can grab screen captures from my phone that display well when you're doing your videos. So
we'll also put links up to Jan Cosmo's channel, so you can get an idea, a little bit clearer idea of what they're actually she's talking about when she's talking about personalizing her videos too. So we'll put that all in the show notes today. Good stuff.
Good. All right.
All right, everyone, get up, get out, be safe, be forever wandering, but not lost. Where's the off button?